You and Kentucky Senator Rand Paul have really been going at each other lately. Last night on CNN, we heard it in the open. He called you the king of bacon.
Yeah, well, listen, I'm not into that stuff. And listen, I answered a question on national security. And as I said at my press conference the other day, I know that Washington politicians and some people in the media are completely not used to the idea that you ask somebody a question and they actually give you an answer. I had, no plan. And in fact, I didn't even bring up Senator Paul's name. Mm-hmm. The reporter who asked the question said Senator Paul, and I said, well, you could say it about lots of people, and he's certainly one of them. So, I don't know why Senator Paul's so, out of whack about this. At the end of the day, I never called him any names, yet he called me names. Mm-hmm. I didn't use any childish type phrases like gimme, gimme, gimme. He did. And I just have to assume from that he's just trying to get attention, and that's fine. I mean, he's not the first politician who's used me to get attention in the national media, and I'm sure he won't be the last.
The two of you are two of the most prominent Republicans in the nation. Some have suggested what this is really about is the heart and future of the Republican Party. You and he stand in stark contrast on some critical issues.
What this is all about, from my perspective, is that the House of Representatives attempted to completely cancel a large part of the NSA program, cancel it. Mm-hmm. And that's what the question was about. And I said that this type of approach, I think, is the wrong type of approach for the nation's security. And I I've had experience at this. I was the U.S. attorney for 7 years. I was appointed the day before September 11th, 2001. My entire tenure was in the post-September 11th period, the immediate post-September 11th period. And this is something that I take very seriously. Now, listen, there has to be appropriate oversight. I've always said that. And I believe there is a lot of oversight now, both by the House and Senate bipartisan intelligence committees and by the FISA court. If there are ways that people want to suggest to make that oversight better, I'm always happy to listen to that and to give my opinion. But that's not what we were talking about. We're talking about the cancellation of a program. And I just thought, I was asked the question, I gave my opinion. Really had nothing to do with Senator Paul, but Senator Paul wanted to make it about Senator Paul, so that's fine.
What do you say, though, to a lot of these national pundits that are trying to make this about the future of the Republican Party because these two heavy hitters, Christie and Paul, are going at each other over the fabric of the GOP?
That's their job. They got to write about something. It's the summer of an off national election year. So they got to justify their existence with their websites and their newspapers, since this is what they do. That's why it's of no big moment to me. Everyone's made a big deal over this. I'm not offended by Senator Paul calling me names. I think it's juvenile, but I'm not offended by it. And because lots of people call me names all the time, as you know. And so if you're going to get disturbed about that kind of stuff and be in this business, you're not going to be in this business for long, or at least you're not going to enjoy yourself. And I think what the people in New Jersey know is I enjoy myself in this job. And I gave an answer in Aspen last week that on a national security issue that I believe, given my qualifications and experience, that I'm well set to answer. And it was never about Senator Paul until Senator Paul tried to make it about me and made it personal.
He suggested maybe the two of you sit down and have a beer and bury the hatchet.
I'm running for reelection in New Jersey. I don't really have time for that at the moment. If I find myself down in Washington, I'll certainly look him up, but I don't suspect I'll be there anytime soon. I've got work to do here, going on vacation with my family, and then I've got work to do here to get reelected on November 5th. And that's what I'll be focusing my time and energy on, along with the rebuilding of the state after Sandy and dealing with the other issues that invariably come on the desk of a governor when you're responsible for actually doing things and not just debating.